Hello, everyone. Don't know if you caught my little unintentional cheeky cameo at the beginning there. Once again, it was not a smooth opening to proceedings, but why get people's hopes up by having a smooth start? Because we all know it won't be a smooth ride. Okay, welcome to the Geekend Live. I'm Jamie, and here on the Geekend every Thursday at 6 p.m. GMT BST here in the UK. Good afternoon, wherever you are. On this football we call planet Earth, we talk Star Wars, Marvel, and more. And more can really mean whatevs. To be honest, it's a very interactive show. So if you're here, say hello in the chat. I will be coming back and forth between the chat and tonight's stories. So in this week's alleged entertainment, we are going to talk about a few little quick stories: the Book of Boba, Rogue Squadron, the Acolyte series, Stranger Things, because I've got the t-shirt on, so we got to talk about it. And not me wearing a Stranger Things t-shirt, something to do with the actual Stranger Things, and also Black Panther as well. And then we will be switching into the chat batch mode. So if you are new to this, we take a leisurely look back at the Bad Batch episode that came out the most recent Friday, and that's episode 9, Bounty Lost, I believe. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, probably in about half an hour's time. So if you're not watching the Bad Batch, then this is your prior warning that there will, I tell you, be spoilers. But I think if you're watching the Bad Batch by now, you've had chance, surely, to watch episode 9, because in less than 24 hours, you've got episode 10 coming. So you'll have all sorts of catching up to do. But I can say that I know that Prydonian here has every intention of watching the Bad Batch, but not yet. I think he's got to do some Clone Wars binging first. So I'll give you prior warning, as always, Prydonian, as to when we switch to the chat batch mode. So good to see you, Prydonian. And also just to say that our guest for the chat batch this week sees the return of Star Wars Meg. So Star Wars Meg will be joining us in about 30 minutes time to talk all about the Bad Batch episode 9, Bounty Lost. And actually, I've got the next few weeks lined up. Philip Hawkins, you might know from the chat and also from his YouTube channel. He will be joining us next week. And then the week after, which I think is July the 15th, my friend Ken Napzok will be back. My friend, your friend. Okay, so in about 30 minutes time, we will get into the chat batch. Speaking of time, Chad Campbell is here. Chad the Stopwatch Campbell, and he's already doing his thing. 27 minutes remaining. That's still the chat batch, right? Because now we've got, while the Bad Batch is on, we have this extended Geekend Live. And Glenn the Geeky Hippie is here, of course. And you did contact me during the week to ask if the Monday chat batch, the standalone chat batch, will be coming back. I don't think it will. For all of the dreaded algorithm reasons. At the moment, I think the extra stream is just damaging the channel for all the boring things I said a few weeks ago. And I think it's working quite well, extending the Geekend Live on a Thursday and doing it that way. So I don't know if the Monday one will return, but for certainly this week and the next 2 weeks, we're doing it on the Thursday. Also, let's say hello to Frogger in Germany, who is back after missing us for a few weeks. He did drop in just to hit the like button, which I hope you have. But he is here, I believe, joining us for the entire stream, which is good to see. Someone who can't join us is Jane Flakes, who says, hello, darlings. I cannot make it tonight. Sorry, we'll catch up later. Hello, future Jane. The wife has fixed her bike, so we are taking our bikes out for the evening. Love you all. May the force be with you. And just to be clear, these are not bicycles. I don't know what Glenn the Geeky Hippie is alluding to here. Did somebody mistake those beefy motorbike things for a more petite bicycle? Did someone do that last week? Did someone offend Jane's wife by calling her motorbike a bicycle? It seems like someone did. Surely it wasn't me. We dedicated the stream, didn't we, last week to Jane's wife's broken motorbike, and also to Vigo, who has still fallen. So it's good to see that Jane's wife's bike has recovered. Vigo hasn't yet. I'm going to fix it, though. Okay, a few more hellos, and we'll get into the stories. Who else is here? Supreme Leader Brad Snoke, who brought one of the stories to my attention that we're going to talk about in a moment. Star Wars Meg is here early. Yeah, looking forward to this week's guest. I'm glad you're here. So you'll definitely just stay with us, Meg. We'll be with you very soon. I'm glad you're here. That's good. That's good. I can relax. But I always knew you'd show up anyway. I always knew you'd show up. Tristan's here. Always good to see Tristan. Haven't seen you for a while, Tristan. You will be pleased to know that Ken's coming back in a couple of weeks as well. I know you like your Ken. Chad Campbell is he's forgetting about timekeeping to just for a moment anyway to admire my Stranger Things t-shirt. David is here. Going to miss the later part of the stream today. I have a business meeting scheduled in about 30 minutes. All right, David. That is fine. That is fine. I will accept that snubbing for very professional reasons. I accept business meetings as an excuse for not being able to stay for the duration of the stream. All right, I think I've said hello to everybody. I'll tell you something we're not going to talk about this week is Boba Fett's ship. We are going to talk about the Book of Boba now just for a few minutes, but definitely not about Boba Fett's ship, whether it's been renamed, whether it's going to be renamed, whether it's just going to keep its old name. Because, you know what? I don't care. I really do not care. I've seen the thumbnails. I've seen the anger. I haven't clicked on anything, but I've seen the anger on Twitter. I've also seen friends of mine in Star Wars or pop culture getting angry, you know, and I kind of think that's bad. I do think that's almost as bad. I think the stream just went a bit weird. That's because the internet does not want me to talk about Boba Fett's maybe ship name being changed. I just don't care. I just think people should stop shouting, to be honest. That's my hot take. You guys can talk about that if you want to in the chat. I don't mind, but I won't be playing. To be honest, I'm just too busy being angry with the YouTube algorithm to spare any more anger for anything else. All right, so I can see Brad back in the chat. So let's bring in this story that Brad brought to my attention because I actually missed it. And I think it's fitting that we're going to do this because I know this is one of Meg's favorite characters as well, who will be joining us shortly. Meg, that is, not Ming-Na Wen. She will not be joining us as far as I know. Right, so just want to check the internet's okay because I know it went weird. Yeah, from Meg there. Boba has a bounty on my router. I think he does. I think it's okay though. I think it's okay for now. Right. Ming-Na Wen didn't know she was filming Book of Boba Fett at first. Now, I think this has been around for a few days. Yeah, 2 days. This is on Screen Rant. But Brad brought it to my attention. Today is going to be the day that Brad will bring it back to you. Oh, yeah. Because that sounded so much like Oasis, I'm going to stop because I don't want to have, like, you know, copyright red flags. All right. Ming-Na Wen admits she didn't realize she was filming the Book of Boba Fett during the first weeks of production. Wen is best known for voicing Mulan and playing Melinda May on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but recent years have seen her carving a special place in the Star Wars universe, especially for Star Wars Meg, as sharpshooter Fennec Shand. Wen appeared to have a one-and-done appearance on The Mandalorian in Season 1. Yeah, that's right. That feels like a long time ago now, which ended in her untimely death. However, much to the surprise of both fans and Wen herself, Fennec was revived and returned in Season 2 for a larger role, and that's obviously transferred into The Bad Batch and also into the Book of Boba Fett. But where is the quote? Here we go. Now, she did not think it was the Book of Boba Fett. She didn't know about the Book of Boba Fett. She thought she was filming The Mandalorian Season 3, I think is pretty much what this is all about. I think this is the quote. It must be. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Lucasfilm is notoriously careful when it comes to spoilers, and that even stretches to the talent they're working with. Again, with the Luke Skywalker reveal in The Mandalorian, I think 99% of people on set that day did not know that person was Luke for sure. As Wen revealed recently when talking to Digital Spy, she didn't even know she was signed on to the Book of Boba Fett during the early days of shooting. She said, I just automatically assumed it was for The Mandalorian Season 3 when explained. This went on for 2 weeks, but the actress eventually learned the truth. And I think that links into something I saw that she said, I guess in another interview recently, that the Book of Boba Fett is quite similar, in tone, at least, of a Mandalorian. So perhaps that also explains why she thought, hey, this is the continuation of the Mandalorian season 2. But then that's interesting in a way, because I kind of, all right, certain elements of tone I imagine would be similar and will be similar, but I think a lot of people have assumed this is going to be quite flashback heavy. So if she was there, I suppose she wouldn't be there for the flashback shoots, though, would she? So there we go. It still could be. All right, problem solved. All right, let me know what you think to that. If you think anything about it, you can let me know what you think about Boba Fett's ship if you have to. But I'm not playing. I'm not playing the game. I'm not getting involved in the debate. If there really needs to be a debate, I don't think it does. But apparently there has to be a debate about everything. Everything these days. All right, let's look at something else. What else? What have we got here? This is interesting. The Acolyte showrunner says Phantom Menace was a big inspiration for the series. This is a series, it's not the one I'm most looking forward to, but I think it's the one I'm most intrigued about. I don't know about you guys. And, you know, we're picking up little tidbits. I know recently it was said that a lot of the writers have never seen Star Wars. And I know some people were a little bit worried about that. Personally, I'm not overly worried about it, because there will be people involved in the story group, which I know for some is a controversial thing, but there will be who will make sure, you know, certain dots are joined, etc., and, you know, things make sense in terms of canon as much as possible. But they have now there's a little bit more of a tidbit. So where is what I'm looking at here? Okay, yeah, Star Wars The Acolyte, a live-action series that we set in the final days of the High Republic era that will be led by Russian doll, showrunner and writer-director The Bachelorette, and sleeping with other people, Leslie Headland. She said during a recent chat with The Wrap that Star Wars The Phantom Menace was a big inspiration for her upcoming series, which is The Acolyte. What I can say is the reason it did appeal to me personally is that I was 18 when The Phantom Menace came out, and I was a very, very big Star Wars fan. So some of the writers may not have seen Star Wars. She has seen Star Wars. I remain a big Star Wars fan, but at that particular time, right after the re-releases and the fact I was in high school, it just kind of all coincided at a time where I was discovering who I was sexually. I was discovering, this is her, by the way. I was discovering who I was artistically. I was kind of realizing what I wanted to do with my life. And then this big, huge movie event, cultural event happened that was The Phantom Menace. And I know there were varying reactions to it. And certainly there were a lot of people that had grown up with the original trilogy who were disappointed by it. I was younger than 18. Yes, finally, I'm younger than someone. And yeah, I also, you know, I was young enough to enjoy it, really. You know, some of the things that probably annoyed adults. I know some adults did enjoy Jar Jar. A lot of adults didn't enjoy Jar Jar. I was young enough to, you know, like Jar Jar, not love, but like Jar Jar in terms of the humor and what have you. But The Phantom Menace, for me, whatever I think of the film, will always remain, as she said here, a cultural event. You know, it's a real strong moment in time in my life and many others. Anyway, she continued. It's about her, not me. But I actually was very intrigued by why George Lucas had started us at that particular point. I kind of wondered, but what happened to lead up to this? So this is a prequel for the prequels, isn't it? That's kind of where my Star Wars fan brain went, was like, how did we get here? And why are the Jedi like this? When they are in power, why are they acting this way? And how is it that they're not having the reaction that you would think they would to Anakin's presence? And what Qui-Gon Jinn is saying about how passionately he feels about training him and bringing him into the fold. It's really hot in the shed tonight, by the way, people. It's like even I'm melting. It's like even the discovery of Darth Maul is kind of met with this like, interesting kind of feeling. So I just think for me, my brain has always buzzed around that area and wondered what's going on here, or what has been going on here. So yeah, again, not the show I'm most excited about, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely at the top of the show I'm most intrigued about. So that's cool. I'm going to pop back over to the chat. Is my internet still on? I think so. Hey, Ant's here. Hey, everyone, I'm cooking, so maybe a bit quiet. Yeah, food, glorious food. What you're cooking, Ant, you're probably too busy to tell us. But do get back to me on that, please. Frogger, I like Ming-Na Wen as an actress. She was the highlight of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., in my opinion. I got a good interview coming up for you, my friend, then. It's not Ming-Na Wen, but it is someone who has doubled for her in Star Wars and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. So there we go. So yeah, we're actually going to release 2 interviews. It will be next month. These are the actors you're looking for, and also I'll be releasing a kind of Marvel centric interview as well. All right, what else? There's something about Daisy Glenn and Frogger disagreeing on something. That happens a lot. It's always nice disagreements, but they do disagree a lot, I've noticed. Glaze, good to see you, mate. Chad Campbell, Star Wars is always a debate. 10 years ago, it was if you like the prequels, you aren't a real fan. Now it's if you like the sequels, you aren't a real fan. It is. It goes in cycles. Give it 10 years, and I suppose those sequel fans, that the ones who were born into the sequels, that was their original trilogy. They are going to, develop their own strong voice for the sequels on planet internet and social media. So, like with the prequels, it's going to change. It's going to change, I think, the attitude overall towards the sequels. There are a lot of people now who love the sequels, there's a lot of things I loved about the sequels. There's a few things I thought could have been done better. I'm not saying I could have done better, but some missed opportunities and all that. Glenn the Geeky Hippie, if you like anything after A New Hope, you aren't a real fan. It's true. You've got to strictly as OG as it gets. Star Wars Meg, in terms of the Acolyte, we need to see young Plagueis. Yeah, I'm really intrigued. There's a lot they can do in this time period, isn't there? And it's just interesting that, okay, it's not going to take us into the Phantom Menace. It's not a direct prequel, but, the kind of, the kind of ideas towards the behavior of the Jedi, as Headland mentioned there, and perhaps seeing it more from a Sith perspective. Right. I think my internet went again, didn't it? Anyway, I was just rambling. It probably wasn't that interesting. Let's just bring in a couple of things. The chat skipped again, so if I missed anything, I is sorry. I got to stop trying to talk like Ali G as well. What else? Oh yeah, new Star Wars movie Rogue Squadron takes a major step forward, everyone. Oh, it's so hot in the shed. The project reportedly has a screenwriter. MD. As you go on quickly. Disney and Lucasfilm's first new Star Wars movie since 2019. Squadron. 2019 was only 2 years ago, wasn't it? It's been less than 2 years since The Rise of Skywalker came out. It feels like a decade. It really does. That's what the pandemic does, isn't it? Anyway, Matthew Robinson, who is also working on the upcoming sequel to Tom Cruise time loop movie Edge of Tomorrow, is apparently, it's confirmed according to IMDb, writing the movie. He's also working on the relaunch of Little Shop of Horrors as well. And I think he wrote the invention of, it says here, the invention of Line with Ricky Gervais. And also the live-action Dora the Explorer movie from a couple of years back. Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins is behind Star Wars Rogue Squadron, which is scheduled to release on December 23rd, 2023. The movie is about a new generation of pilots in the Star Wars galaxy and takes the story to what's been described as the future era, presumably sometime after the events of Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. And she said something I saw a little clip of yesterday on Twitter. It was just a quick kind of red carpet clip, I think with Associated Press, like a pool clip, to use a journo term there. She said something along the lines of that she wants to, with this movie, respect what's come before in terms of the video games and, books, and but at the same time also be brave and fresh with what she does with this movie. So I know the last Wonder Woman has sort of lost some people's faith in her a bit, but I'm quietly optimistic and interested in this movie. To be honest, just to see a big screen Star Wars movie again. And like I say, it feels like a decade ago when The Rise of Skywalker came out. Right, I'm going to pop over to the chat one more time before a couple more stories. Chad Campbell does love Edge of Tomorrow. Did the internet go again? You probably didn't miss much. I'm sorry. As long as the internet works while you're here, Meg, in a few minutes, then it's all good. David, I don't know which show he's talking about here. It must be The Acolyte. Sounds like the show might divulge some relevant historical references for our man Ramirez Watt's nightly monologues. It might indeed. I might have to keep doing Light Speed Tonight forever at this rate, as the Star Wars timeline gets extended all the time. Skywalker Sounds here as well. So David Milano. I'll always remember that build up to The Phantom Menace and the first trailer. What was the movie that got the Phantom Menace trailer attached to it that people bought tickets for and then left as soon as the Phantom Menace trailer was shown and never watched the film they paid the money for? What was the film again? Because obviously this was the day really before we had instant access, didn't we, to trailers whenever we wanted on the World Wide Web. I said hello to Skywalker Sound, didn't I? Hello again if I didn't. Also, we've had confirmation of what Ant's cooking. It's some steaks and veg for roasting. Jamie, you got me all hyped just then. What did I do? What did I say? That's the thing when the chat keeps skipping. I've been freezing. Oh, I thought you meant Tristan. You got me worried then. I thought you meant I've been freezing in terms of the internet's going weird again. But no, I'm either freezing cold in the shed or burning in the shed. Yeah, melting in the shed right now. It's really been humid today outside, let alone in a even more, sauna-like shed, the sauna shed. Sorry if I've missed anything. I'm working my way down again. Frogger, when I hear Rogue Squadron, the only thing that comes to mind is struggling to bring back AT-ATs or ATATs in an A-Wing on my N6. Is that N64? I think. And bring down is the correction there. Every generation has a legend. Yeah, that was an awesome trailer. It was a really awesome trailer. And again, Sidge. I wasn't going to say again Sidge. I was going to say I'm so easily distracted, especially by Sidge. But Sidge, we've got to whisper everyone because he's secretly watching at work. You naughty boy. Again, I quite liked the Phantom Menace when it came out. I really did. But that trailer still got me overly hyped. To be honest, it can never match the expectations that we placed on that film, that the media placed on the film, and also that trailer did its job too well. It got us too hyped. Okay, a couple of quick stories before the chat patch. So just wanted to honor the fact I am wearing the Stranger Things t-shirt, which I know Chad Campbell is a fan of. Mate, this is high quality stuff from Primark, which I don't think will mean much to you there over in the States, but high quality Primani on my bod right now. Stranger Things. More little teasers, but still no release date. No release date. Where is this release date? I'm not going to take this t-shirt off, partly because I can't, because it's stuck to me with the humidity right now. But I am not going to take it off, even if I could, until we get that release date. Anyway, we looked at those pictures recently of 11 being stretchered away, which alludes to some kind of nastiness happening her way. But Sadie Sink has teased that the fourth season of Netflix's hugely popular series will be really dark and intense as anticipation continues to grow. Yes, it does. I'm even wearing a t-shirt of it. The actress 19 is known for playing Max Medfield on the hit drama and has been part of the show since season 2. Filming is underway on the new episodes. I believe it's wrapped. They could be doing reshoots, pickups, and what have you, but I believe principal photography has wrapped. I could be wrong because I have nothing to do with the production. Anyway, she said it's definitely a really, really dark season. Each season, the production scale gets bigger and bigger, and the stakes are really, really high this year, as they always are. But there's something about this season. It's really intense. Now, we talked about this a few weeks ago about some of us. I think, Sidge, you were one who, gotta whisper, sorry, Sidge. We were kind of worried about, not worried, but we're just not sure where they can take this now, how they can up this season, and apparently they have. I mean, she would say that, wouldn't she? But it's more intense, it's darker. But yeah, I'm getting more excited for it. Give us a release date, please. Skywalker Sound, Jamie, are you going to be able to travel soon or no? I'm not sure what's happening with lockdowns over there. It's been pretty normal here for a while. Just the small ones about big groups, but at the same time, Wembley was half full. Wembley Stadium was half full the other day with 45,000 people. I think Wimbledon tennis looks pretty full. Life's pretty normal, but there's still social distancing in bars, restaurants, supermarkets, masks, public transport, etc. But it's pretty normal, and it looks like July 19th or something. Everything will be dropped. But more it'll be like down to you to decide when you take the mask off, you know. I'll probably keep mine on for a little bit in busy places and public transport, to be honest. And in terms of traveling, I imagine to be honest, it will still be a thing for public transport. I think it probably should be for now, for a bit longer. And in terms of traveling, more on that in a couple of weeks, because we got to get cracking. But yeah, I've got one traveling job back, and yeah, it's causing a little bit of stress at the moment because it's really complicated country to get to with really specific types of PCR tests they want and certificates and all that. It's Japan, by the way. But we're getting there, and I should be going in a few weeks' time. Anyway, that's the situation over here. Skywalker Sound, what's the situation with you? Let me know. I'll come back to the chat shortly. In fact, no, let's just do a couple more comments. Phil was here. We mentioned you earlier, Phil. I have a theory about what the Upside Down is, but if I'm right, I don't think they'd reveal it until the very end of the show. Do you mean like the very end of the show, the very end of the Stranger Things? Because there's going to be, I think, at least 2 more seasons, including Stranger Things 4. I don't know what you're talking about, Chad. Somebody help him, please. Clays is guessing October 31st for the Stranger Things premiere. Chad has some theories on that in terms of when they might release this one based on the other seasons, because it's all seasonal based, isn't it, in terms of when it's set and when it's released. And they have done a Halloween one before, haven't they? I think I'm right in saying. Chad will have a theory on that, Clays, but you could be right because we don't know yet. Frogger, oh yeah, Jamie, I'm not a football fan, but still congrats on England beating Germany on Tuesday. 3 lines on his shirt. Yeah, thanks, Frogger. Yeah, that it was I mean, I think for a neutral, I was saying to Chad actually, I think for a neutral, it probably wasn't the most exciting game. But if you are a football fan and if you're English or German, or have allegiances to either side, then it was tense, wasn't it? It was tense. But thank you, Frogger. It doesn't happen very often that we beat you. So I'm going to take it. And I imagine the next time we meet, usual business will be resumed and you'll be knocking us out of a competition. Star Wars Meg. I tried when Obi-Wan walked away from Anakin on Mustafar. I don't know if that's linked to something someone asked or said earlier, Meg, or if you're just sort of randomly revealing facts about your emotions linked to Star Wars right now. But we're going to bring you in a minute. Let's just do the final, and we'll get clarification. Let's just do the final story, because it is past, and I know Chad's counting me down. A little bit of Black Panther news as well. Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige. Is Kevin Feige still doing a Star Wars film? I'm losing track of everything that's going on with Star Wars at the moment. Meg, you'll know. Anyway, away from Star Wars, he confirms that Black Panther Wakanda Forever has kicked off production in Atlanta. This is Ryan Scott on MovieWeb. And just a quick quote. Where's his quote? This is Kevin Feige, and this is obviously, Chadwick Boseman unexpectedly passed away last year following a battle with cancer, which was, of course, a huge surprise, certainly for us on the outside, at least. And Disney and Marvel Studios are not recasting the role, and the franchise will continue with someone else taking up the mantle of the hero. There's no details. They're keeping, as you'd imagine anyway, despite, the Chadwick Boseman situation, they're obviously keeping the lid firmly down on this, but Feige had this to say. It's clearly very emotional without Chad, but everyone is also very excited to bring the world of Wakanda back to the public and back to the fans. We're going to do it in a way that would make Chad proud. So that's cool. And I'm pleased to hear it's finally in production. I don't know how delayed it's been with both the pandemic and obviously the sad news about Chadwick Boseman, but great to see that they are now in production in Atlanta. There we go. Peter's here as well. I don't know who you're seeking on Twitter. Glenn, you know I'm on Twitter. We follow each other. Peter, good to see you, matey. 1 minute remaining. Chad, mate, I've brought it in. Okay, I've gone 1 minute over. I'm a little bit ahead of you. Only in terms of the YouTube stream. Definitely not in any other ways. Believe me, I'm always behind, always lagging. Question from Glenn here. Is there anyone in here who has not seen the original non-special edition OT? I don't know. Tell us, people. Oh, and Chad Campbell's come back. His fort is February, so not far off. Clay's saying Ox 31st. All right, everybody. Meg, I can't see you. Join me, and I'll bring you in when we're ready. So, Pridonian, if you're still here, this is your prior warning from Pridonian that we are now going to move over to. Oh, hang on, Tristan. Tristan has only seen the special editions. Tristan, is that by choice or has that been forced upon you? Pardon the pun, because they're not as easily available these days. I've definitely got some VHS copies of my big bros somewhere, so I could ship them out to you maybe if you've got a VHS player. Chad Campbell's got a VHS player. There you go. There's a fact that you never knew you were going to hear, but you'll definitely need it one day. I know you will. All right, so we are now in chat batch mode. So, Pridonian, this is your prior warning that at any moment we will be talking about the chat batch, the Bad Batch, episode 9, Bounty Lost, with my friend, your friend. She's been in the chat all show. It's Star Wars Meg. I'm going to bring her in. I've got to put these on first. Hang on a second, everybody. Hang on a second. I can't really legitimately say that I'm still learning this thing because it's been months now, hasn't it? But let's get the correct banner on. There we go. It's all about the branding. And let's bring my guest, Star Wars Meg. Hello, Meg. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, I think you've heard me talking about myself for far too long because you have been part of the stream already in the chat. I'm sweaty. That's how I am right now. Megs and bacon, I see.
Oh, yeah. I switch it up every time I'm on here. Last time it was Meg's McMuffin, and this time it's Megs and bacon.
Whatever next, eh? Whatever next.
I've got a whole list somewhere in my brain of breakfast puns to do with my name. Because you can substitute anything with eggs in it with my name.
You can. That's a good point. I can't wait for the next one. But I'm sorry, I wasn't bellowing no, dismissing what you were saying. I was bellowing no because Frogger has reminded me of the little mishap I had with your name. I think either when you were in the chat recently or when you were on the stream last. I can't remember, but I said that, didn't I?
It was last week. Yeah, you said Star Wars Meg.
I'm sorry. It will never happen again. Star Wars, Megs and bacon. All right.
Meggy bread, Megs Benedict.
Megs Benedict. I love it. We've got all these names, but we should probably just focus on the name that is most relevant to YouTube, which is Star Wars Meg. So if people don't know Star Wars Meg, I have linked to Meg's YouTube channel in the video description, and also a new addition to your social media portfolio. I've linked to your Twitter account as well.
Indeed.
You're on Twitter now.
I'm on Twitter now. It's been a couple of weeks.
What made you do that? It's a silly thing to do, Meg. Let me say. What made you do it?
So I got a message from a patron saying, "Oh, I'm following you on Twitter, but you haven't replied to me." And I said, "I'm not on Twitter." And it turns out that when you type in Star Wars Meg, it comes up with some other Meg who's not me. And so I thought, Okay, well, if I have my own Twitter account, then people can't really get confused. As I always say, if it's not got my logo, which you see on the screen, then it's probably not me.
Yeah, but this one definitely is you that I've linked to in the video description. Are you enjoying being in the Star Wars Twitterverse?
It's very interesting. You get a whole host of Twitter lingo, which I'm not really familiar with yet. Sort of like retweeting, and then you have a whole bunch of people who have the same thing in their bio, like they have retweets are not endorsements, all opinions are my own, human male, human female, I don't know. You see a whole bunch of that stuff in Twitter bios. So
You do.
I'm still kind of getting
you see it all on Twitter. So for anyone again who hasn't been to your channel, you do Star Wars news every day. You release videos, don't you?
I do.
As well as non-news stuff, some kind of trivia, Star
True.
Wars, tidbits, I guess. And also, I know you do sort of exclusive Patreon only
I do,
content as well. Is that a fair way of summing up what you do? Would you like to go further and explain yourself rather than me explaining yourself for you?
I think you did a very good job so far.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do explain videos, speculation videos, news videos, anything really that's going on in the world of Star Wars. And on Patreon, I have a series called Forgotten Characters, where we take a look at characters from the Star Wars universe who you've probably seen on the screen in the Clone Wars, in Rebels, in the films, but you probably don't know anything about. And I also have a Star Wars Planet series where I take a look at, well, my aim is to take a look at every single known planet eventually in Star Wars.
How many are there?
Good question. I wasn't
trying to catch you out. I'm just worried about the workload you're bringing on yourself here.
I've currently made 54, but I'm not too sure how many there are in total.
And more are going to keep on coming, I imagine. There'll always be a new planet, I suppose. Can I just point something out? Meg, you said something along these lines, and now Chad's joining in. I mean, Chad, this is Chad here. I mean, I understand defining between male and female, but adding human, I've done that. I don't know if it's on my Twitter bio, but I've been certainly in some bios. I've got human man because I just want to be clear with people. So stop it. There's nothing wrong with it. All right. Also, something from Frogger here. Saw a Rule of Two podcast the other week. Star Wars Theory didn't know who Meg is when Mark Fernandez mentioned her. Shame on him. Did you know this?
I know for a fact he does know who I am. So that's actually quite funny.
Was he acting cool then, do you think?
I think so. He definitely knows who I am. Just because he's actually, I think it was Den of Nerds on a previous Rule of Two who mentioned me, and then he said that I've come up once or twice and is recommended. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe he's used to hearing you as Star Wars Megs and Bacon or Star Wars Mug.
I was going to say,
when Star Wars Meg was presented to him, it was confusing,
Yes, I think that's the confusion.
Well, I don't know who Mark Fernandez. No, Mark Fernandez is he the Collider? He used to be. Is he still Collider? He was the Collider guy, right? He bought Collider. Is that who he is? Frogger. Anyway. Oh, hang on, Glenn the Geeky Yippie. I hate Fernandez. Okay. Oh, he did ran. Well, he didn't. He ran Collider into the something ground. Hey. Right. Okay. I went to Collider once. I went on Jedi Council when last time I was in LA. Who knows when now? 2 years ago, maybe. And I don't think I met him. I can't even picture him right now. But the name did ring a bell anyway when I saw it. Anyway, let's talk about the Bad Batch episode 9, Bounty Lost. So what's quite cool is, Meg, I think that you're back again on the chat batch, which was always going to happen. We've talked about this for a little while, but it's accidentally fitting, I suppose, that it's to cover this episode because your fave character, or maybe temporarily wasn't your fave character, was back, Fennec Shand, because when she first appeared in the Bad Batch, you were here to talk about that episode, and you were a little bit disappointed about one of your favorite characters there, about their performance, their role in that episode. So she's back now. Are you happier?
I'm much happier. I think her role is much clearer. She was, I guess, more on Omega's side, and Nala Se told her at the end, don't go after her because she's in safer hands than she would potentially be if she was with the other guy, Lamasu.
Yeah, so she's actually been telling the truth. Obviously, she's on the payroll.
Exactly.
There is something in it for her, but she's been telling the truth to Omega, which and also she looked cool. She did things. She stood up to Bane, more than matched him as well.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty kick-ass episode for her.
I think in a sense, Fennec Shand had to come out the good guy at the end of everything, because we know that in the Book of Boba Fett in December, she's going to be an ally to Boba. So they kind of got to paint her in a good light to be consistent with what comes next in the Star Wars universe.
I'm going to just read this comment from Ant. Really sold on Fennec now. Really awesome addition to this galaxy far, far away. I've read that because it's relevant. I'm not going to read this one from Chad yet, but we'll come back to it at the end. Okay, so try and remind me if you can, Chad. And also Meg, try and remind me as well. Something I didn't realize, I looked this up earlier, and also fitting because you were talking about your planets earlier. I suppose one video about a planet you can't do at the moment is a video about the planet that Fennec's from, because we don't know, do we?
That is very true. And I did research it. There's no Wikipedia entry because it's unknown. But I bet it's going to be something like Coruscant, or somewhere where you find humans.
So we don't really know that much about her, and I'm kind of wondering how much we'll actually learn about her in the Book of Boba as well, because presumably that's Boba's story, whether it's in flashback form or of any kind.
In a sense, I don't even think it matters too much, because Fennec isn't really the center of attention in either show. She's going to be the co-star to Boba in December, but she's still, I don't think her backstory to do with her childhood matters so much as what's going on now in the Bad Batch, what might happen between the Bad Batch and the Book of Boba, which we could see in flashbacks. But for her home planet, it'll probably be revealed in the Mandalorian season 2 guide or something, a passing mention.
Yeah. And something that I was definitely going to ask you later, and we'll talk about the revelation of Omega's connection with Boba, but to Ant's point for now, Boba is totally turning up in this show. Do you agree? Are you on board with that? And also just a quick hello to Alexandra Starr as well. Good to see you. Meg.
Yes.
It's happening.
It is.
How confident are you?
I was confident the minute we saw Fennec Shand, and I've been on record. I have a video called Boba Fett teased for the Bad Batch, and I said in that video that I'm pretty convinced he's going to show up at some point, and now I'm more convinced than ever. We've had Cad Bane, we've had Fennec Shand. I think we're going to see Boba, and as you say, with the big reveal of Omega's identity. Supposed identity.
Yeah. We will come on to that. But in terms of Boba being in the Bad Batch, I suppose it wouldn't need to be Tamura Morrison voicing him. It could be Daniel Logan again, couldn't it?
Yes. And yeah, there's something interesting going on with Daniel Logan.
I think so.
I don't think I can speak about it on this show.
What do you know something, Meg? Do
know something. I do.
Why can't you speak about it on this show? What's your beef with this show? Are you just singling this show out? Would you talk about it on any other show?
No. Just generally.
I think he's in. And I'm not afraid to say this does not mean he's in, obviously, what I'm about to say, but he follows me on Twitter, people, and we have had a bit of a DM relationship in the past, and we will be doing a These Are the Actors You're Looking For episode at some point. We said we'd do that 4 years ago, and it hasn't happened yet, and that's actually very much my fault. But anyway, I got in touch with him again recently to try and rekindle this. I think even before the Bad Batch began, and he ain't doing interviews right now, put it that way. And to me, that just suggests that wait, we'll talk later, kind of thing. So I think and I would love that for him, because he's such a positive you know, his Star Wars career in a way ended a long time ago. But he's so active within the Star Wars community on Twitter and so fun with it as well, interacting with fans and also other Star Wars actors like Mark Hamill on Twitter as well. So that'd be really, I don't know what you know. Whatever you know is probably more legitimate than my little anecdote. But anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on then. So unless you do want to tell me now, are you ready?
I'm not ready to come out of the closet with it. I didn't word that correctly. I'm not ready to talk.
It's fine. It's fine. If you're not ready for whatever, it's fine. Okay. Let's talk about you mentioned the reveal we had the reveal of who Fennec is working for, which was kind of interesting. But the bigger reveal was Omega having brother Boba, learning a bit more about her background, or as you said, what we think so far anyway to be her background. I get a sense then that you don't quite buy it. Were you surprised by this alleged connection, and why don't you buy it?
I've made a couple of videos explaining my reservations, but to put it really simply, I think that I think it was his genetic profile. He was looking at Omega's genetic profile. And in that profile, I don't think it recognized the other parts of her identity. I think she's altered. She's not unaltered. What that is in terms of the logistics, I'm not too sure. I have some theories. I've had the theory that Anakin's arm from Attack of the Clones might have been used, which is why her hairstyle is very similar to Anakin in The Phantom Menace. It could be Kenobi blood. It could be Palpatine. I'm not too sure.
Right. So you think there's more twists to come then in terms of or relating to Omega?
Yes.
I hadn't thought about that, but it kind of in a way, because the chip thing seems to be all done and dusted, and now we think we know Omega's background. Now I'm kind of thinking, well, hang on, there's like 4 or 5, 6 episodes still to go. And also the way the revelation was made was kind of like, it was a very gentle reveal, in a kind of gentle conversation, between Tech and the other guys in the Bad Batch, and also then Hunter with Omega. It was quite a gentle reveal compared to the more dramatic parental revelations we've had in Star Wars past, and I quite liked that gentle reveal. But then again, now you've got me thinking, was it really the reveal, the big reveal? Is there more to come? And also they do look different, don't they?
They do look very different. She's got blonde hair.
Yeah.
She's female. They would have to alter the chromosomes. Or, some females have XY chromosomes. But, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, FKR. Me listening to Meg's theory, and there's some emojis there. There's emojis for you. Glenn says that he just found out that Tim Morrison's sister had blonde hair. Has she dyed it since? Naturally blonde or not? No, it's interesting. And how do you think if she is Boba's sister, how do you think when we meet him, how do you think he's going to react to that news?
That is something I've not really thought about. That's a very good question. We know that Boba's in his teenage years. He's with Krait's Claw. So he's kind of more reckless than a more refined Boba that we see in The Mandalorian. So I'm not too sure how he will react. He might deny it at first and then come to terms with it.
Yeah, because this is a kind of, I suppose, quite a different Boba, obviously age-wise, but also mentally as well, to the Boba that the more kind of mellow Boba that we think we've met in The Mandalorian. He was a bit of a douche in the Clone Wars, wasn't he?
He was. Also, I just want to point out, have you noticed how similar Boba Fett's outfit is at this point in the timeline to the Bad Batches?
Hang on. Say that again, because I can't multitask. I put Chad's comment up the moment you said what you said, and I can't multitask, Meg. I'm a mere human man, don't forget.
The Boba Fett armor that he currently wears, which is very different to his father's Mandalorian one later on, is very similar to the Bad Batch's outfits in terms of color scheme.
Yeah.
If you do like a quick Google search, you'll see what I mean.
I'm kind of trying to picture it now. And you're good, Meg. You're good at this. Had anyone else noticed that in the chat? Let us know. Peter said, "I have blonde hair makes that me related. Does that make me related to Amiga?" No, well, not necessarily, Peter. Not necessarily, but we can't rule it out entirely, I suppose. Let me Google this then, and I can bring it up on the screen. So, what do I need to Google?
The thing is, it's a bit far down in the results, but I would say type in Boba Fett Clone Wars armor and look for the one that's red, black, and white. I could send you a link. Actually, no.
Yeah, do you see the message? Oh, okay. If you do get the link, there's a message private chat thing on the right. If you can send it to me there. But I'm looking anyway. Did you go on images? Google Images.
I sent you the link. You have to scroll down to point number 3. There's like bullet points.
Okay. I'm scared to click on the link because it might close StreamYard. Let me just copy and paste it. I'm just scared of life, to be honest. Right, okay. We're on StarWars.com, the playlist Boba Fett, point 3, there's point 1, there's point 3. Right, I'm going to bring this in. Bear with me, people. It's coming. It's coming home. There we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. So you're saying this armor, it does look a bit like the Bad Batch armor.
It does.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's just a coincidence or they're going to tie it in.
I think with Star Wars, there's always a tie-in. I would always lean towards the tie-in option if I was a gambling man, at least. What do you guys think in the chat? Chad Campbell said, interesting. Boba kills the entire Bad Batch and his sister. Now that would be a twist. Has somebody else said that in the chat, or is that you? Is that you, Chad? And Chad has also added, it's definitely the color scheme for sure. Yeah, no, that's interesting. You've changed my kind of perspective on this episode, Meg. I think you are right, and there will definitely be many more twists and turns still to come. Clays has added very similar, and Ant as well. Boba joins the Bad Batch for a time. What do you reckon to that?
I think they'll definitely meet. I think they've met before. I don't necessarily think he's going to join them, but it could be this whole thing of Boba joins them because technically he's enhanced in a way the other clones aren't, being so similar to the DNA of his father. I'm not too sure. It could go in many different directions if Boba enters the image.
Yeah, Glenn's just made a good point, and I completely see this too. Those 3 vertical lines over the front of the face make it look like tusks, and Wrecker has those.
I was going to say, doesn't Wrecker have that?
Yeah.
He's I think like a less swollen version of Wrecker.
Yeah, very much less swollen. Yeah, that's interesting. Seems the cunning plot could be a thread in this Filoni-verse to tie into the sequel trilogy. That's from Ant there. So overall then, despite your pessimism for the revelations at least, overall, how did this episode sit with you?
I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of my favorite ones. I say this all the time, but this one really is high up there on my list.
Yeah, it's. I think the last 3 have been really strong. Because for me there was a bit of a lull, but an okay lull since the opener. But yeah, this episode had maybe revelations. You know, I was quite convinced that they were solid revelations, but now you've definitely got me questioning that. And yeah, it had surprises. And there was some decent action as well. We touched upon, the toing and froing of Omega and, Cad and Fennec Shand as well. The only thing that, it's only a little minor thing, and this has sort of happened a lot in this series, but it's kind of to be expected. Things do tend to happen a little too easily, like Omega escaping and, rejoining the Bad Batch. But that's just a minor thing. There was a lot of great stuff in this episode for me.
Yeah, I think they have to strike this balance of it being a good Star Wars show that fans can appreciate, but also being suitable for kids. Because ultimately, I know this is very unpopular, but it is a cartoon. It's an animated show. And they do target children. As George Lucas would say, it's a film for 12-year-olds. It's a show for 12-year-olds. But of course, which all Star Wars fans can see the nuances within.
Yeah, there's some very adult moments. There's been some very adult moments in this series. The most obvious would be the execution from old Crosshair and co earlier on. But yeah, essentially, it is a show, I suppose, for all the family, all the Star Wars family. But there's a real sense from the last 3 episodes, I think, that the overall story is really solidifying, and some people would say finally, because it did feel for a while like, you really want this show to move up a gear or two. And I really felt like everything was slotting into place story-wise, but now, again, you've got me questioning where it's actually going. But I think I like the way it's going. And I liked the, I can never say it right, Kaminoan infighting. As well, and that little twist of who Fennec is working for. Strong last 3 episodes. That's what I'm thinking. Just going to read a few comments, Meg. Gaz Nottingham is here. He says, hello there. Of course. I think there is a clone we haven't met yet that has the same properties as the Bad Batch. Previously, we heard there were 5 altered clones, and we all assumed it was Omega. What are your thoughts on that, Meg?
I'm not really understanding the question.
So Gaz has a theory that there's going to be another clone with the same properties as the Bad Batch, another member of the Bad Batch, essentially going back to the initial batch. So there was presumably a mention of there being 5 altered clones.
But weren't they talking about the Bad Batch?
Yeah. How many are in the Bad Batch? It's got me thinking.
I mean, Echo isn't technically
he doesn't count,
a member.
Does he?
No.
He's not one of the...
Because he got blown up at the Citadel.
Yeah, so he wasn't one of the original altered clones. So is there a missing member? I think that's what Gaz is saying here. People assumed Omega would become a member of the Bad Batch, but we sort of know now she's not an altered clone as such. She's a pure clone.
I see what he's saying. Like it's not Omega. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah. And,
that'd be really cool if we met like a mega clone. No pun intended on my name.
Yeah, a lot of people. There's a lot of love for that, Gaz, in the chat. From Glenn, and also from Chad. Oh no, Chad's questioning it a little bit, and also Frogger thinks it would be a cool twist. Chad says there were 5 altered clones in the first episode and in the original Bad Batch. I'm getting confused now. I thought I understood it.
Wrecker, Hunter, Crosshair,
Tech,
and Echo, if you want to count him.
But we're not counting. We're agreed we're not counting Echo, aren't we?
So then there's another one.
And we set the rules here, not Lucasfilm. There is another.
Boba Fett's evil twin brother or something. Bobby.
Yeah, well, there really are more twists to come. Look what you've started there, Gaz. Peter says, like this episode, but I still think the episodes are too short. Well, I think that's a compliment, isn't it? That you're enjoying it so much. You want more, and that's something we were definitely all saying in regards to The Mandalorian as well. I think Chad is still confused. And Chad, I thought I understood it, and now you've kind of got me, you're all getting me questioning things now. I might even take the human out of my bio because now I'm not so sure about that even. Right, everybody, let me know your marks out of 10 for this episode. All right, so The Bad Batch, episode 9, Bounty Lost. I want to know what you give it. Marks out of 10. I will come to the chat in a moment, but Meg, first of all, what about you?
See, we both differ in terms of our marking schemes because you give a lower mark because you say that 5 is average and 6 is good. So I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay, that's very high. Can you just remind me, like, what's been your average so far? Average episode score?
8.
8. Okay, so
I think I gave one of them a 4.
Really? And hang on, are you basing this on my my marking kind of format? This is your own marking format.
Yeah,
I say 9's crazy high if you're using my my way of marking things. Okay, 9. No, well, either way, 9 is almost as good as it gets. Wow. So I know you said earlier this ranks as one of the top episodes for you. Is it in the top 2? Is it in the top 1? It's not in the top 1 or top 2. Top 3. Top
3. Yeah, with Aftermath and the one before this one.
Champions League place. It's a Champions League place. And that reminds me, before I come over to the chat to get the final scores out of 10, Chad did ask you earlier, I think he asked, were you surprised that England beat Germany?
I was very surprised, but I'm glad they did it.
I think we were all very surprised here in England.
And we've got England-Ukraine on Saturday. So
Saturday, 8 p.m. Yeah, on paper, we should be in the final, but we know paper
I
means
think
nothing
Pizza
when
Express
it comes
will
to
have
the
a lot of
England national
cancellations.
team.
Yeah.
Yes, they will. Right, so let's come to the chat for the scores. It is Clay's kicking things off. If I've missed your score, if it was earlier, please copy and paste it back in. 7.5 out of 10 from Clay's. 8 from Chad. He tends to give 8s. Also, an 8 from Peter. However, he's still furious about the duration of the episode, and so much so he's going to mark it down. It would have been an 8 if they'd given him just a little bit more. So, because of that duration that was too short for Peter, it's a 7.5 there. A 7 from Frogger. I think that's the lowest we've had so far. An 8 from Phil there. What? Someone gave a... Oh, no, Meg gave an episode of 4. Hey, yeah, hang on, Meg. What episode was that?
It was the one with Cutler Quain.
Okay.
Episode 2, I think, or 3.
Why did that get such a low score? Even for me, that would be a low score.
I just didn't enjoy it. I was kind of bored.
Fair enough. We've got a 9.9. Glenn, you are always very specific, aren't you? Oh, it's jumped again. Hang on a second. 9.2 out of 10. That is 0.1 higher than the last episode. Wow. I think we're going to eventually... Well, if you're going up by the 0.1s each time, I don't think we will get up to a 10, will we? There's not enough episodes left. Top 9 for Chad, this one. Gaz Nottingham, who came up with a great point earlier, but also was so great it at least baffled me in the end. Going to say 8.5 out of 10. They're getting better as they go along. I agree with that. Best yet, love the Bane, Fennec action, and the story is really progressing now. I'm on board with all of that. Hello to Crosby. Good to see you, mate. Hang on a sec. Have you just bumped it up again? You've just bumped it up again, Glenn. 9.3 now. I can't keep up. 8.8 out of 10 from FKR. Love the action. Fennec against Chad. Yes. Love the little sprinkles of Camino and Law. But shame again that the Bad Batch has a problem that's solved immediately after it happened. I think Glenn is waiting for a doctor's appointment, aren't you? I saw you post that earlier on. Chad is, once again, taking us off topic. And you're the one meant to be keeping me to time, Chad. You're not helping here. England should have an easy win, but no team likes to choke like England. Exactly. On paper, we're in the final, mate. But in reality, I don't know. And Glenn Hippie, anything with Cad Bane starts off at an 8.5. All right, then. Yeah, but we only play you in friendlies, Chad. That doesn't really count. We actually are pretty solid in friendlies, even against these so-called bigger teams as well. It's when we get to the major tournaments we do the choking. It's a 9 from Ant. And okay, Glenn, we're settling on a 9.3 from Glenn. Okay, I think I've read everyone's scores out. Last chance to put them in. I gave last week's the highest score. I can't remember what I gave it now. I think I gave it a 7.5, which would be the highest score since the
wow.
the pilot. I know. And remember, as you said, Meg, 5 is average for me. 5's all right. It's good. Therefore, 6 is definitely good. I did prefer last week's episode, so I'm gonna nudge this down slightly to I could do like a Glenn and I could do a 7.3.4 or something, but I'm gonna give this one a 7, but there's definitely room for a rewatch that might upgrade it to a 7.5, but for now a 7. There we go.
That's pretty decent.
It is, considering on average I've given the majority of the season a 6.
A 7 from you is like a 10 from most people.
Exactly.
In dog years. No, that doesn't make sense.
A 7 from a human man, Jamie Stangram, is a kind of big deal, people. And Frogger went with a 7 because there was too little Crosshair Empire action once again. Bounty hunters just don't excite me that much. We had a good return from Crosshair last week, and that was part of the reason I enjoyed last week so much. And there's definitely lots more Crosshair to come. I don't think you need to worry about that. Would you like to reassure Frogger as well, Meg?
Yes. I mean, I think Crosshair is going to have a very big few episodes coming up. I think he's going to be rejected by the Empire because he's been compromised due to his injuries. And he might seek out his former brothers. And I think they're going to try and remove his chip.
Yeah, the redemption arc is brewing. It is brewing.
It's on the brink.
Right. Well, thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining us for another The Geeknd Live and the chat batch as well. Just want to say thank you to all Patreon members as well. And also, of course, thank you to Star Wars Meg. Thank
you so much.
Star Wars Meg. I've not said your name wrong all show, which I'm very proud of. So thank you once again, Meg, for joining us. And just a reminder, your YouTube channel and Twitter account is linked in the video's description. So everybody should go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I think a lot of you have already, but go and find Meg on Twitter if you're on Twitter as well. Anything you'd like to add, Meg?
Just thank you so much for having me. I love this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a good community. It's intimate. But it's all good vibes. And FKR says, fun stream again. Love you, Meg. Chad, good time as always. Thank you, everyone. Peter, come on now. Jamie is a harsh juror. There might be some truth to that. Frogger, thanks, Megs and Bacon. Hope to see you back for a chat batch soon. And Clays also says, thanks, Meg, as well. So there we go. I think there's been a lot of pleasantries there, a lot of that. So we'll do the thing where I now end the show, which I've sort of been hinting towards for like the last 2 minutes, and then I'll get distracted by something else, and there'll be another 2 minutes. But no, we are going to end the show now. Okay, so I'm going to hang up. Thank you everybody for joining, and I will be back this time next week. Well, rewind like an hour and 10 minutes or something. So we'll talk again then. I hope you all have a lovely week, and don't forget, people, it's coming home. Goodbye.